December 1st, 2025. Trump delivers ultimatum to Maduro to flee Venezuela immediately as 11 U.S. warships and 15,000 troops bear down on the Caribbean. Noem blames Biden admin for allowing National Guard shooting suspect into U.S. without proper vetting. Responsibility lies with them. Emails describe D.C. shooting suspect as withdrawn and manic. Lawmakers suggest follow-up boat strike could be a war crime. Trump suggests Rep. Ilhan Omar be thrown the hell out of the U.S. over claims she married her brother. Trump says he'll release MRI results. He doesn't know what part of his body was scanned. Cascade of systemic failures. Minnesota state employees blast Waltz for massive fraud in social services. Trump says he has made his choice to lead the Federal Reserve. Ukrainian request for nukes and NATO membership will not fly, says U.S. Senator. Oxford University Press names Ragebait as Word of the Year 2025. Tattoos linked to significant higher risk of aggressive skin cancer. Legalizing cocaine is the only way to end the drug war. Dignitas founder ends his own life at one of his own clinics days before his birthday. Pentagon Pete uses beloved kids character in twisted parody. Sydney Sweeney breathes fire with hot dragon ensemble. Police arrest parrot at Korean cafe after it allegedly takes sip of someone's coffee. Why is a former pro-Beijing rapper wanted for inciting Taiwan secession? December 2nd, 2025. Hegseth ordered lethal attack but not killing of survivors, officials say. Fears grow inside military over illegal orders after Hegseth authorized follow-up boat strike. Tim Walz could face possible criminal charges over Somali fraud scheme in Minnesota. Trump faces fallout after targeting Tim Walz with offensive slur. Jeffries says not to expect Dems to pursue Hegseth impeachment. Netanyahu appears in court after pardon request backed by Trump. Trump delivers grim warning at White House Christmas party. Crypto downturn wipes out almost $1 billion in leveraged bets. Trump crypto partner Alt5 Sigma may have violated SEC rules after another filing discrepancy. Publisher condemns violent use of Franklin the Turtle after Pete Hegseth's boat strike post. Anthropic official to testify on how U.S. can lead on AI after Biden shortcomings. OpenAI CEO declares code red to improve ChatGPT as Google threatens AI lead. Real Steel. PLA unveils motion-controlled combat robot to 13 countries. India orders smartphone makers to install cybersecurity app. Scientists discover way to allow patients to breathe through their butts. Jada Pinkett Smith told husband Will's friend he would catch a bullet if he continued telling her personal business, $3 million complaint claims. Inside the CIA-backed Zero units that hired D.C. shooting suspect. December 3rd, 2025. Department of War disputes second attack on boat strike survivors was a double tap. If Trump doesn't fire Pete Hegseth now, it's going to send a message heard round the world. Trump officially nullifies all Biden-era autopen pardons. Trump calls Somalis garbage he doesn't want in the country. Ilhan Omar denounces Donald Trump for calling Somali immigrants garbage. Minneapolis mayor suggests he won't cooperate with federal law enforcement while speaking Somali. Noem says 50% of visas are fraudulent in Minnesota. White House humiliated Sabrina Carpenter with her own lyrics after singer blasted Trump for using her song in ICE video. The cruel consequences of Trump's casual use of the R word. Putin warns Russia ready to go to war with Europe, with peace talks ending in stalemate. President Trump posts InfoWars story revealing sources believe Michelle Obama may have been using AutoPen in final days of Biden admin. This highly contagious winter vomiting disease is surging across the country. Raccoon goes on drunken rampage in Virginia liquor store and passes out on bathroom floor. Malaysia says search for long-missing flight MH370 to resume. Manhattan Beach Middle School students reportedly involved in brutal assault on Hermosa man. Ex-Soviet state to sue BBC over absurd chemical weapons claims. Trump goon caught doodling his way through boss's nap time. December 4th, 2025. Trump says he will repeal fuel efficiency standards for cars and trucks in latest blow for pollution safeguards. Ilhan Omar claims Trump demonizing ethnic group warns danger of violence from his followers. Minnesota judge overturns $7.2 million taxpayer fraud conviction of Somali man, leaving jurors and state's AG in disbelief. Money back mandate. Judge orders refunds for January 6 defendants pardoned during Trump's second term. Xi Jinping urges Emmanuel Macron to stand on the right side of history. Trump says no problem releasing video of second strike on alleged drug boat. Deep state engaged in Pentagon coup against Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island seen like never before in new footage. Huge recall of shredded cheese sold at major retailers in 31 states. Tara Reid's surveillance footage shows no evidence she was drugged at Chicago hotel, police say. Matthew Perry's Dr. P sentenced to prison for supplying actor with ketamine before death. Earthquake, which felt like underground explosion, rocks north of England. Georgia inmate captured after ordering Uber to evade deputies. The chemtrails conspiracy theory dogging the battle against drought. MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell files to run for Minnesota governor. Leader of Iranian theocracy that punishes women for showing hair blasts Western nations for gender pay gap. Prince Harry sparks boos on Late Show with Stephen Colbert as he mocks King Trump and blasts his baseless lawsuit against CBS. December 5th, 2025. This is CNN. Fake tapper calls alleged J6 pipe bomber white man before showing photo of black suspect. Maine police list black Somali Muslim as white on court documents. Grand jury rejects DOJ's attempt to revive fraud case against Letitia James. Clamping down. Trump admin dramatically scales back work permits for asylum seekers. Dems targeted by Trump FBI respond to seditious conspiracy report. This isn't about me. Security upped for Rep. Jamie Raskin after alleged incident. New revelation from Admiral who oversaw alleged drug boat strikes. He told lawmakers the U.S. monitored two men clinging to their capsized boat for nearly an hour before making the decision to launch a second fatal attack, sources say. U.S. strikes another alleged drug boat amid second strike controversy. Hegseth ousted Navy admiral who raised concerns about boat strikes. U.S. raid allegedly killed Syrian undercover agent instead of Islamic State group official. Largest bust in U.S. history. Florida man arrested with 92,000 pounds of potent opioid and massive arsenal and explosives. Putin says Russia will take all of Ukraine's Donbass region militarily or otherwise. NATO chief pitches monthly billions on weapons for Kiev. European nationals withdraw themselves from Eurovision 2026 in protest of Israel's inclusion. PLA holds urban warfare drill as Taipei looks to boost asymmetric capabilities. Fabergé egg encrusted with 183 diamonds swallowed by thief passed naturally to police. Warner Brothers begins exclusive deal talks with Netflix. December 6, 2025. Pipe bomb suspect said he believed 2020 election was stolen and was supportive of Trump. January 6 pipe bomb suspect is an autistic recluse computer nerd, and he is not a Trump supporter, family claims. Great honors of my life. Trump wins FIFA Peace Prize after Nobel snub. CDC panel votes to stop recommending birth dose of hepatitis B vaccine. Globalists reignite war on America's free speech. EU fines Twitter $140 million. UK orchestrating campaign to silence Breitbart. Your private data is building Trump's voter purge machine. Walz goes full retard. Dem Minnesota governor complains of alleged drive-by shouts of retard and sparks meme frenzy. Friends in low places. Somali illegal migrant fraudster photographed with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Rep. Ilhan Omar. Trans comedian mocks high school volleyball player who suffered injury at hands of trans athlete. Trans instructor placed on leave after failing student who quoted Bible and expressed belief in only two genders. Joe Biden yells at clouds and shouts at LGBTQ audience to fight for Constitution or something. Tekashi 6ix9ine plans to lose 70 pounds in prison and not afraid of being attacked. Missing British man's amputated feet washed up on beach 500 miles away. Minneapolis police chief warns officers, stop unlawful force by ICE or lose your job. The World Cup draw had looked favorable for Canada. Then Wayne Gretzky showed up and everything changed. Sydney Sweeney shares emotional response to controversial American Eagles jeans ad. I'm against hate. The best romance of the year is between an animated fox and bunny. December 7th, 2025. National Parks fee-free calendar drops MLK Day and Juneteenth and adds Trump's birthday. Trump has long disdained Europe's elites. Now it's official. Senator Warner says that uniformed military could save us from Donald Trump. Immigration courts thrown into chaos as Trump administration purges dozens of judges. Naval lawyer delivers a kill shot to the left's uproar over Trump's airstrikes on narco-terrorists. Dr. Oz makes severe funding threat after Somali fraudsters ran riot in Minnesota on Tim Walz's watch. Man charged in light rail stabbing reignites immigration fury in Charlotte. Under the gun. AR-15 allegedly found under Florida college student's bed after he ordered 1,500 rounds of ammo to dorm. Man allegedly seen leaving his girlfriend to freeze to death on Austria's highest mountain in webcam footage. Japan accuses Chinese jets of directing fire control radar at its aircraft. EU channeled 500 million euros to CIA-linked NGOs to promote mass migration and regime change. Tower of London closed after protesters deface Crown Jewels case with Custard. Patone's 2026 Color of the Year, Cloud Dancer, sparks outrage from the left. Newsom trolls MAGA's meltdown over his sitting position. Stars speak out. Hollywood elites Robertson Penn blast trauma industry and call for return to shame. Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau go Instagram official with selfies from Japan trip. California officials warn against foraging wild mushrooms after deadly poisoning outbreak. December 8th, 2025. Thailand launches airstrikes at Cambodia as border tensions reignite. Stephen Miller's rhetoric reminds me of Nazis, says Rep. Ilhan Omar. Trump slams Texas Democrats' lack of loyalty after granting him pardon. Democratic governors say the party's midterm strategy must focus on voters' pocketbook concerns. Zohran Mamdani puts out video telling New Yorkers to stand up to ICE. Insiders reveal Trump may axe ICE Barbie over secret romance. Trump warns Netflix Warner deal may pose antitrust problem. Musk equates EU to Fourth Reich. Wrecking narratives. Mystery deepens as to why it took FBI over 5 years to finally bust the suspected J6 pipe bomber. Judge blocks DOJ use of seized emails in Comey case. Big new lawsuit targets ultra-processed foods makers for deliberately creating public health crisis. Scientists think they may have discovered one of the causes of mental illness. Really scary. Students form human swastika on San Jose High School football field. Taylor Swift looks stunned alongside Selena Gomez and Leonardo DiCaprio as she watches Travis Kelce make shock mistake that seals collapse of Chiefs' NFL empire. Sydney Sweeney says she's never had any cosmetic work done while slamming critics. Everybody on social media is insane. Cowards. Social media reacts to Notre Dame opting out of bowl after CFP snub. Nearly a year after Pacific Palisades burned, there's a new house. December 9th, 2025. Magnitude 7.6 quake strikes off Japan, triggering tsunami warning. Judge orders the release of an immigrant with ties to White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt. Drought deadline. Trump threatens tariff if Mexico fails to deliver water owed under 1944 treaty. Israel sharply hikes propaganda budget. NDAA requires Hegseth to submit unedited video of boat strikes. Crockett launches bid for Senate seat, debuts campaign video featuring excerpts of Trump calling her low IQ. Tim Walz's daughter melts down on TikTok after Trump and others call their family retarded. FBI agents sue after being fired for kneeling during racial justice protest. 12-foot tall, scraggly clothes, and strong as oxen, Special Forces soldiers found the giants of Kandahar deep in caves of Afghanistan. As new photos emerge, here's the truth behind the legend. Satan's plan exposed. AI has been programmed from the beginning to use humanity as fuel to launch its own new species, destroying and absorbing us in the process. Woman-hating podcaster admits he's never slept with a woman. Bear attacks trainer in front of audience after being forced to ride hoverboard. Paramount launches hostile $78 billion bid for Warner Brothers with backing from Trump's son-in-law. Study finds global efforts to improve air quality have unintentionally accelerated climate warming by modifying clouds. Trump's football troubles take a weird turn as he eyes new name for the NFL stuff. Colts bringing in retired 44-year-old grandfathered for workout after Daniel Jones' injury. Busta Rhymes curses out content creator who labeled him Tracy Morgan. December 10th, 2025. Trump slams stupid people and defends economic record in Pennsylvania rally. Trump, 79, derails speech to thirst over Leavitt, 28. Trump accuses Ilhan Omar of marrying her brother. Zelensky says Ukraine ready to hold polls if U.S. and allies ensure security. Governor Shapiro faces subpoena over private home security upgrades after firebombing. New Jersey SWAT and DHS arrest twin brothers following social media threats to shoot ICE on site and kill DHS Assistant Secretary McLaughlin. FIFA chief accused of breaking ethics rules after Trump Peace Prize award. MS-13 and Trump backed the same presidential candidate in Honduras. MS-13 assassin who killed Honduras president's son captured by federal agents in Nebraska's suburb. U.S. sanctions network recruiting Colombian fighters for Sudanese paramilitary. Mutant flu brings major hospital to its knees as it declares critical incident. Mitt Romney's sister-in-law, Carrie, died by suicide at L.A. parking garage, medical examiner determines. Investigation finds mace caused spectacle at South Carolina airport. USAID hired the right-wing influencer responsible for its decimation. Trump admin spins death of student loan forgiveness plan as great for people who want student loan forgiveness. Say hello to China's low-cost meat-like fungus meant to replace chicken. Mysterious interstellar objects spreading life-creating particles throughout the solar system as it nears Earth. December 11th, 2025. Venezuela decries act of piracy after U.S. forces seize departing oil tanker. House Democrats file impeachment articles against Robert F. Kennedy Jr., turning his back on science. Trump launches $1 million gold card for wealthy foreigners to buy fast-track U.S. citizenship and $5 million platinum option to avoid paying tax. How Republicans tricked Jasmine Crockett into running for Senate. Driver slams into 8 Anaheim High runners. A nightmare scenario, says one SoCal track coach. Behind bars. Michigan coach lands in jail hours after firing over inappropriate relationship. Andy Dick says he overdosed after smoking crack cocaine. Granddad, 86, fined by counsel for spitting after leaf blew into his mouth. Australia bans under 16s from social media in world-first crackdown. UK MPs clash over the digital ID that no one asked for. NATO state flags U.S. as possible security concern. Panchen Lama says reincarnation must follow Chinese laws and be endorsed by Beijing. 90% of college kids think words can be violence. Journalist compares Rubio's font change order for State Department to Nazis barring Jewish fonts. Joy Reid shares video claiming Jingle Bells is a racist song written as a mockery of black people. South Park nails Trump with super dark Epstein twist. CNN is letting betting markets rewrite the 2026 election narrative. December 12th, 2025. Putin backs Maduro amid standoff with U.S. Ghastly U.S. citizen ICE arrest in Minnesota. If someone were actively trying to incite a pogrom against Minnesota's Somali community, what would they do differently than Trump and his allies are doing now? Trump is expected to loosen federal restriction on marijuana, people familiar say. Trump admits he has no idea what Melania is doing. Fetterman writes letter asking Israel's president to pardon Netanyahu. The America First love fest with left-wing anti-Israel critics goes up a gear. Silver explodes to record high. Analysts say precious metal could hit triple digits by next year. Accused Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson seen smirking and laughing in first in-person court appearance. Black Lives Matter director charged with wire fraud and money laundering. Disney comes to Sora, what you can and can't do with the characters. Soft brain chip could help solve Neuralink's big implant challenge. Doctor warns NHS may not handle megaflu strain with patients treated in cupboards. Navy submits report on Kelly's potential punishment over illegal orders video. China's new condom tax draws skepticism and worries over health risks. Time names second female basketball player athlete of the year, even though Shohei Ohtani had one of the best years in baseball history. South Park's season finale caps off a wild, profane, Trump-filled year. Some of Mamdani's radical base already seething at his decisions. December 13th, 2025. Trump claims Epstein photos he hasn't seen are no big deal. Justice Department sues Fulton County for 2020 election records. Secretary Duffy threatens to pull $73 million from New York after audit finds 53% of state CDLs were given to illegals. U.S. forces stormed cargo ship traveling from China to Iran. Islamic extremists prepare to slaughter hundreds on Christmas, local intel warns. EU agrees to indefinitely freeze Russian assets. Cacophony of grifters. MAGA infighting erodes real-world power. Trumpian corruption is worse than Ukrainian corruption. Lawmakers pave the way to billions in handouts for weapons makers that the Pentagon itself opposed. Meta seeks role reversal as it adopts Alibaba's Qwen to train AI models. How Disney got hopelessly lost in the slop. Storm surprise. Record rainfall transforms America's lowest point as ancient lake returns to valley. Glamorous female judge's career ends in disgrace after she lied that she'd taken part in Operation Desert Storm, aged 16. Rice University soccer player's cause of death revealed after participating in Devil Trend TikTok game. FBI opens probe into over 350 suspected members of sadistic 764 group accused of targeting children online. Leaders of secretive California religious group accused of murder after member and ex-member vanish. Kamala Harris says Democrats need post-Trump message to fix flawed status quo. October 14th, 2025. Manhunt. Police seek suspect dressed in black after at least 2 killed, 8 hurt in Brown University shooting, telling people to lock their doors and to stay vigilant. Brown University shooting initially thought to be mass casualty event, dispatch audio reveals. Brown University shooting suspect caught fleeing in chilling new video as manhunt continues after gunman killed 2 and injured 9 in classroom during final exam. Trump pledges retaliation after 3 Americans are killed in Syria attack that the U.S. blames on Daesh. Trump takes the field at Army-Navy game for coin toss and military flyover. Trump 79 stuns with inability to flip a coin. Trump finds out bullying doesn't work in Indiana. Joy Reid's next act building her own empire. The mainstream media is cooked. Candace Owen honors Charlie Kirk's legacy by doing everything in her power to destroy it. Deadly blast. 1 killed after U-Haul truck explodes in retail shopping center parking lot. Woman gives birth at Bass Pro Shops aquarium in Missouri. Pedophile who killed boy, 9, shot dead 24 hours after release from prison. Emergency alert. Under the radar, 12 U.S. states have passed laws that mirror Canada's maid-assisted suicide law, that literally allows the government to kill people against their will. EU to abandon the plan to phase out combustion engines. She wanted a natural pregnancy and childbirth. It ended in tragedy. Why the growing reliance on unregulated birth attendants is raising red flags. 13-year-old arrested at Minnesota school with 1,500 suspected fentanyl pills. The Chinese billionaires having dozens of U.S. born babies via surrogate. December 15th, 2025. Massacre of Jews at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach shocks Australia. Hanukkah horror. Father and son revealed to be behind Sydney terror attack that left 15 dead. Bondi Beach gunmen were father and son who executed 15 in act of pure evil. Australia hails Ahmed, the hero who stopped gunman in his tracks. Flashback. Islamists gathered to chant F the Jews after October 7th, just minutes from beach shooting site. PM to tighten gun laws, butchered pig heads found at Muslim cemetery in Sydney. When Harry Met Sally director Rob Reiner, 78, and his wife Michelle Singer, 68, found dead in Hollywood home as LAPD launches murder probe after bodies discovered with knife wounds. Person of interest in Brown University shooting released from custody. Chiefs get devastating Patrick Mahomes injury news with playoffs hopes dashed. Patrick Mahomes speaks out after tearing his ACL during Chiefs game. Didn't know why this had to happen. Taylor Swift plays aunt to Travis Kelce's nieces while Chiefs are eliminated from playoffs. Zelensky states Ukraine is willing to give up official NATO aspirations, request Article 5-like guarantees from the U.S. Hong Kong court finds tycoon Jimmy Lai guilty in national security trial. China sanctions Japanese ex-military chief for colluding with separatists. Passenger gives birth in a Waymo self-driving taxi on the way to the hospital. Manchin says elected officials need to calm down and stop going into attack mode. Alabama begs Supreme Court to make it easier to execute people with intellectual disabilities. December 16th, 2025. Ford pivoting to hybrids and dropping all-electric F-150 sees $20 billion in charges. PayPal applies to become a bank as U.S. loosens regulatory reins. After throwing billions at the metaverse, Zuckerberg is finally cutting its funding. Trump designates street fentanyl as WMD, escalating militarization of drug war. China seizes 430 kilograms of cocaine, aided by U.S. intel, a sign partnership is working. FBI arrests radical pro-Palestinian extremists accused of plotting coordinated bombings in Los Angeles and New Orleans on New Year's Eve targeting ICE agents. Pentagon escalates Mark Kelly's misconduct review as senator's attorney threatens legal action. Bondi Beach shooters were inspired by Islamic State ideology, Australian Prime Minister says. Woman arrested after driving car into crowds of people in Manchester. Ukrainian police academy hosts Hitler admirer. Dramatic photos show Rob Reiner's son Nick being arrested for parents' murder after leaving trail of blood in motel across town. Rob Reiner and son Nick in heated argument at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Internet explodes after Trump unleashes on director who was allegedly murdered. Conservatives call Trump's Reiner comments horrible and cruel. Words in my mouth, Trump slaps BBC with eye-watering $10 billion suit for alleged defamatory editing of January 6 speech. Candace Owens faces Erica Kirk after months of promoting theories about Charlie Kirk's murder. The more I'm around young people, the more panicked I am. December 17th, 2025. Donald Trump surrounds Venezuela with largest armada in the history of South America. Daughter of Australian shooting victim slams politicians and media for covering up Islamic terror threat. Marlowe says Rob Reiner tried to destroy Trump's life with Brennan and Clapper, so stop whining about his truth post. An MIT professor was fatally shot at his home, and police launched a homicide investigation. Leaders of cult-like Southern Cal group charged with murdering missing member and a 4-year-old. Trump retruths post calling for arrest of former FBI Director Wray and former AG Garland. Jared Kushner's firm backs out of Paramount's Warner Brothers bid. Jasmine Crockett backtracks on picking cotton comments. Vanity Fair called J.D. Vance a conspiracy theorist, so he decided to list his favorite conspiracy theories that have come true. FBI emails show D.C. field office warned Biden admin they lacked probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago prior to 2022 search. Canadian delegation, including 6 MPs, say they were treated roughly and denied entry into the West Bank over alleged link to Israel-designated terror entity. Secretive rapid response networks are operating in communities terrorized by ICE raids. Brown University was asked about why some web pages are being scrubbed. The answer was a disaster. Teachers' unions pushes neopronouns but claims America is a problem. AI bathroom monitors, welcome to America's new surveillance high schools. Mystery as NASA probe goes dark after close encounter with interstellar visitor nearing Earth. Brits must be ready to sacrifice sons and daughters, says defense chief. December 18th, 2025. Trump sends troops $1,776 bonus checks in Christmas speech to nation. Trump ends crazed speech angrily shouting, "Merry Christmas." Bronze barbs. Trump mocks Biden and Obama with new plaques under Presidential Walk of Fame portraits. U.S. approves $11 billion in arms sales to Taiwan in deal likely to anger China. Is Trump about to unleash the Kraken on Venezuela? Mark Carney says Donald Trump wants Canada to be dependent on the U.S. FBI agents thought Clinton's Uranium One deal might be criminal, but McCabe and Yates stonewalled investigation. Pulitzer Board demands Trump tax returns and medical records as part of his defamation suit. Dan Bongino announces departure from FBI. How Benny Johnson went from BuzzFeed plagiarist to MAGA's chief content creator. Ex-Harvard morgue manager who sold body parts sentenced to 8 years in prison. Man jailed for burning migrant hotels' posts on X after being reported by brother-in-law. It penetrates your bones. Day laborers protest noise machines installed at Home Depot. Missing girl found alive with new identity 42 years later, and she had no idea. New York woman sues IRS to get dog recognized as dependent on taxes. New York Governor Hochul set to sign bill legalizing doctor-assisted suicide. John Travolta fathered Elvis's great-grandson with Riley Keough, wild lawsuit claims. December 19th, 2025. Brown University shooter is revealed to be 48-year-old Portuguese national and former PhD student with links to murdered MIT professor as he's found dead at storage facility. Mystery of why Brown shooter murdered MIT genius. Security gaps. Noam says heinous suspect entered U.S. through lottery visa program in 2017. How the 2020 big lie is now threatening a world-class research center. Reported car ramming may have foiled second terror plot in same location from just days ago. TikTok signs deal for U.S. unit after years-long saga. Trump signs executive order changing marijuana to Schedule III drug. House passes bill banning sex change surgeries and puberty blockers and hormone therapies for minors. Trump announces Patriot Games with 2 high school student athletes from each state. The Warrior Dividend is Trump's latest PR stunt to act like he cares about the troops. President Trump will add his own name to the Kennedy Center. Texas. Lawmakers launch Sharia-free American caucus aimed at countering Islam and Sharia law's growing influence in the U.S. EU leaders agree to provide 90 billion euros to fund Ukraine, setting aside plan to use Russian frozen assets. China cuts U.S. Treasury holdings to lowest level since 2008. NASCAR star Greg Biffle's wife, Christina, texted her mom, "We're in trouble," minutes before they died in plane crash. After the fires. LA's hydrants ran dry during the fires. Residents are still demanding solutions. Woman hailed as first Black Briton, likely blue-eyed and fair-haired, study. December 20th, 2025. Epstein files released. U.S. Justice Department releases heavily redacted cache of Jeffrey Epstein files. First batch of Epstein files released feature photos of Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Kevin Spacey, among other high-profile names. U.S. Epstein files release highlights Clinton makes scant reference to Trump. Clinton unloads on Trump's plot to scapegoat him for Epstein. Trump announces very serious retaliation against ISIS after Syria attack. Trump gave an unusually partisan White House address. Should networks have given him the TV time? Trump signs Lumbee Fairness Act, providing North Carolina Native American tribe with full federal recognition. MAGA is eating itself alive. Anthony Joshua knocks out Jake Paul. Jake Paul spits blood after revealing broken jaw from Anthony Joshua fight. Leftist Milwaukee judge Dugan convicted for obstructing ICE agents from apprehending illegal alien at courthouse. Faces up to 5 years in prison. ICE hires immigrant bounty hunters from private prison company Geo Group. Report says San Francisco police arrest Christian woman for sidewalk counseling outside abortion clinic. A Reddit post helped find MIT and Brown shooting suspect. Here's what we know. Brown MIT shooting suspect dead 2 days before being found. In a divided America, Rob Reiner was a tenacious liberal who connected with conservatives. What J.D. Vance and many others miss about American anti-Semitism. China sues U.S. state over COVID allegations. December 21st, 2025. Available to download Friday, some Epstein files no longer there Saturday afternoon. Top DOJ official denies any effort to redact mentions of Trump from Epstein files. Director of Melania Trump's new documentary seen in the Epstein files. The Epstein file memes are pouring in, and they're hilarious. U.S. says it intercepted second tanker in Venezuela blockade. Tucker Carlson inflames a raging battle for MAGA's future. Trump says he could pay himself $1 billion in damages from federal funds. Nancy Pelosi just got caught in the biggest insider trading criminal scandal in history. Investigation reveals Pelosi purchased $10 million of Taco Bell stock day before marijuana rule change. Congress leaves town until 2026 with no health care deal, forcing premium hikes. This is a desecration. Protesters shocked at lack of outrage over Trump's influencing iconic cultural institution. Washington, D.C. police chief completely melts down during resignation ceremony after her department was caught tampering with crime numbers. LAPD search of Nick Reiner's hotel done without search warrant. Massive power outage leaves 130,000 San Francisco homes and businesses in the dark. Social media users in the Central Valley are freaking out about unusual fog and what might be in it. The SpaceX explosion that put flights in danger. British family wheeled dead Gran onto EasyJet flight and pretended she was asleep. December 22nd, 2025. J.D. Vance to Turning Point crowd. You don't have to apologize for being white anymore. MAGA infighting over Israel on full display at Turning Point USA event. Anti-Palestinian billionaires can now control what TikTok users see. CBS sparks backlash as 60 Minutes suddenly drops segment on Trump deportations just 2 hours before airing, and staff hit out at editor-in-chief Barry Weiss. Trump administration demands that Mexican crews operating trains in U.S. can speak English. Illegal alien Chinese bus driver who got his CDL in New York allegedly causes fatal pileup in Tennessee. How Rep. Dan Goldman's office became a triage center for ICE detainees. Acting CISA director failed a polygraph. Career staff are now under investigation. Pentagon fails annual audit for the 8th year in a row. Gabbard blasts deep state warmonger report claiming Putin seeks to invade Eastern Europe, warns NATO and EU pushing U.S. toward war with Russia. Starving Russian soldiers planning to eat each other in leaked recording. Polish president gifted Zelensky book on Ukrainian Nazi crimes. BLM co-founder arrested on domestic assault charges. Kimmel to give deeply personal Christmas Day message on UK TV. The pitiful childishness of Donald Trump. Toxic fumes on planes blamed for deaths of pilots and crew. Some ChatGPT users say swapping out models is like replacing a service animal. December 23rd, 2025. Moscow car blast kills Russian general hours after U.S. talks. 354-year-old forest found in Algonquin Park. Vince Zampella, Call of Duty co-creator, dies in fiery crash of Ferrari on Angeles Crest Highway. Israel extends order allowing closure of foreign media, even without state of emergency. China likely loaded more than 100 ICBMs in silo fields, Pentagon report says. British Museum calls for decolonizing Santa. Goodbye, Missouri. Chiefs are heading to Kansas for new $4 billion stadium deal after taxpayers reject funding. Oklahoma U trans instructor fired for flunking students' viral Bible-based essay on gender. Trump announces U.S. building world's largest battleship for Golden Fleet,
100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. Trump announces plans for new Navy warships to be known as Trump class. Trump says Colombian president better watch his ass after stolen land comments. Trump 79 rants incoherently about robots and AI. Trump still eyeing Justice Department payoff. I hereby give myself $1 billion. A rift in MAGA has top Heritage Foundation officials leaving to join with Mike Pence. Bill Clinton demands all Epstein files are released, claiming someone is being protected. Fake video of Jeffrey Epstein attempting suicide appears, then gets deleted from the DOJ files. CBS in turmoil as spiked 60 Minutes segment on Trump's deportations explodes online after accidentally airing on Canadian TV.
December 24th, 2025. DOJ releases huge new set of Epstein files with many mentions of Trump. Epstein negotiated contract with CIA to move clandestine airline used in Iran-Contra scandal to Ohio, according to new files. FBI confirms alleged Epstein-Nasser letter is fake. Trump tried to send the National Guard into Chicago. The Supreme Court said no. Trump admin bars 5 Europeans it says led drive to censor U.S. views online. Federal judge says Trump administration must restore disaster money to Democratic states. Trump's campaign against tankers paralyzes Venezuelan oil exports. Greta Thunberg arrested at pro-Palestinian protest in London. From Gaza to Bethlehem and Nazareth, Christmas joy is overshadowed by harsh reality. U.S. has slashed Ukraine aid to 1/177th of 2024 figure. Pentagon says China's historic military buildup has made U.S. vulnerable. Alberta to officially start collecting signatures for referendum to secede from Canada. Democrat mayor says city residents might kill ICE agents who enforce the law in his city. U.S. military killed boat strike survivors for not surrendering correctly. Spotify confirms data breach after pirate activist group scrapes and releases 86 million songs. South Park creators clashed with performers at their Colorado restaurant. Murder masquerading as medicine. Senate ignores bill on CCP's Christian Oregon harvesting. December 25th, 2025. DOJ says it found 1 million more docs potentially related to Epstein. After missing deadline, DOJ says it may need a few more weeks to finish releasing Epstein files. Trump and First Lady Melania participate in NORAD Santa calls. Trump tells child he wants to ensure bad Santa isn't infiltrating U.S. Trump sends special Merry Christmas message to radical left scum. Kennedy Center Christmas Eve concert canceled after Trump's name added. Disney World shocks fans as it files demolition permit on beloved landmark of over 27 years. Holiday wrecker. Reckless driver destroys town Christmas tree during joyride and is forced to fix mess. War Secretary says National Guardsmen in D.C. are authorized to wear Santa hats. Everyone has to tell the same lie about Christmas, even if they don't celebrate it. Some people are revolting. How cozy Yuletide traditions got their start with raging parties and animal sacrifice. Vagrant charged for stabbing woman to death inside Florida Barnes & Noble.
There's a really easy way to see past the redactions on the Epstein files. Experts who once backed shaken baby science now fight to free imprisoned caregivers. Family suing major airline after flight was allegedly infested with bedbugs, itchy welts, lesions, and rashes. Bachelor alum Sean Lowe reflects on being attacked by the family dog twice in 12 hours. Can't express the emotion I was feeling. White House orders military to focus on quarantine of Venezuela oil. December 26, 2025. Trump's Christmas gift to ISIS. President launches powerful and deadly strike on terrorist scum in Nigeria and warns there will be many more dead jihadis if they don't stop Christian massacres. Holiday attack. Palestinian suspects torch Christmas tree at Catholic church, says police. A comedy show. Myanmar youth in exile slam military-run sham election. Gen Z revolts against dystopian future as protests sweep the globe. Jimmy Kimmel gives Donald Trump a richly deserved bollocking in scorching Christmas Day message. The president lost. Humiliated Trump scores lowest Kennedy Center ratings ever. Hope Walls praises illegal immigrants while attacking ICE in Christmas message. Ukraine a corrupt viper's den, says Hunter Biden. Families wait in line for hours to buy masa for Christmas tamales at beloved LA grocer. Religious leaders hold Christmas Eve service at ICE facility. Heavy rains led to nightmare before Christmas with flooding and mudslides as risks persist. Cheapest national average price for regular gas at Christmas since 2020. Hero of 2025, ultra-processed foods. Coast Guard tracks down runaway oil tanker linked to Iran and Venezuela. Drugs, Olympic medals, and high-end motorcycles seized in raids at Mexican homes linked to ex-Olympic snowboarder and fugitive Ryan Wedding. Viral streamer Clavicular kicked off a kick for allegedly running over pedestrian on live. Chinese surgeons become first to graft patient's ear onto foot after accident. December 27th, 2025. Enjoy what may be your last Merry Christmas. Trump targets sleazebag Dems who loved Epstein. Donald Trump urges DOJ to embarrass any Democrats in Epstein files. Christ back in Christmas. Trump administration acknowledges birth of Jesus in holiday messages. Trump's Christmas bombing of Nigeria has little to do with protecting Christians. FBI Director Kash Patel announces permanent closure of J. Edgar Hoover Building after Deep State Museum promise. Tyler Perry sued for sexual assault by Boo, a Medea Halloween actor, seeking $77 million. Barron spotted after devotion to vile woman haters exposed. 100,000-gallon sewage spill closes L.A. County Beach. Billion-dollar snack companies suddenly care about affordability after jacking up prices for years. Island getaway. Tiny Pacific nation agrees to take deportees in exchange for millions in foreign aid. $1.4 million turtle smuggling scheme ends in prison sentence. Binge-drinking ferrets and dogs on cocaine in $1.6 trillion U.S. government waste list. HHS probes Seattle Children's Hospital over transgender surgeries. Aluminum salts emerge as likely target as health officials scrutinize childhood vaccines. Cop group alleges discrimination by prosecutor for being too nice to immigrants. African Noah purchases Mercedes, says God won't flood the earth after all. His followers are angry. Mamdani picks his mentor, the woke, radical, anti-Israel YouTuber Miss Rachel. December 28th, 2025. Gas line explosion in Castaic prompts 5 freeway closure and shelter-in-place order. Father finds 15-year-old daughter who was kidnapped at knife point on Christmas by tracking her phone's location. YouTuber Nick Shirley exposes $110 million in Minnesota Somali fraud in one day. Vance praises more useful journalism than Pulitzer winners. Iran's president says country is in total war with U.S., Israel, and Europe. Clinton cash cabal. FBI caught Hillary Clinton discussing donations with foreign felon. Florida Congresswoman photoshops out a $109,000 ring she allegedly purchased with stolen FEMA funds. Why is Ilhan Omar's husband investment firm removing names from their website? Trump goon offers excuse for Ice Barbie's wild cosplays. Marco Rubio is using real censorship to fight fake censorship. The fight for young men intensifies ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. California drops lawsuit against Trump admin for cutting funding for high-speed railway. Kennedy Center vows to sue musician who canceled performance over Trump name change. ADL goes ballistic after Megyn Kelly says Barry Weiss and Ben Shapiro are making anti-Semites. Racist AI fakes are now a business and a political tool. More than 20% of AI videos shown to new YouTube users are AI slop, study finds. Companies are outlining plans for 2026. Hiring isn't one of them. Lung cancer warning for lunch meat and fizzy drinks after new study. December 29th, 2025. China launches drills around Taiwan in stern warning to external forces. China to power up world's largest super cold air battery in the Gobi Desert. Iranian hackers leak videos and texts allegedly taken from Netanyahu Chief of Staff's iPhone. Israel faces global fury over Somaliland move. January 6 pipe bombing suspect confesses in blow to MAGA nuts. U.S. pledges $2 billion for UN humanitarian aid as Trump slashes funding and warns agencies to adapt or die. Federal judge dismisses indictment against TikTokers shot by ICE, citing constitutional violations. Justice Department using fraud law to target companies on DEI. In complaining about gag order, DHS violates gag order. Hoo boy! Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae are lowering credit requirements for mortgages to reach subprime borrowers. Soros family sent Letitia James over $71,000 in direct campaign donations since 2019. Pelosi predicts Dems will take House in 2026 midterms. Symbols divide. Union Jack movement grows as cultural battle intensifies in rapidly changing Britain. The Starmer regime is turning Britain into a police state. Brigitte Bardot, 1960s cinema icon and animal rights activist, dies at 91. Devastated father speaks out after ex-wife is seen fleeing to Europe with kids over fears Salt Lake will be destroyed in end times. 2025 was the year of brain rot.
December 30th, 2025. Trump tells Hamas to disarm or hell to pay. Warns Iran against resuming nuke program. Trump very angry about Ukrainian attack on Putin's residence. Trump says nothing worries him about China's military drills around Taiwan. China's push to master the Arctic opens an alarming shortcut to U.S. CIA conducted drone strike on port in Venezuela. Mexican authorities seized $40 million in motorcycles belonging to fugitive Ryan Wedding, FBI says. Minnesota's same-day voter registration lets people vouch for as many as 8 others without ID. George Clooney and wife Amal and their 8-year-old twins become French citizens. Chappelle Roan walks back tribute to Brigitte Bardot over late star's insane beliefs. Trump's takeover of education is taking a page from the Confederacy. Are we living in the Matrix? These people see the code. Jazz band cancels New Year's Eve performance at Trump Kennedy Center. Anthony Joshua's trainer friends dead in car accident, Nigerian president announces. Utah judge approves release of closed-door hearing transcript in Charlie Kirk murder case. Massachusetts to release 39 convicted murderers sentenced to life without parole. Swimmer believed to be victim of shark attack is found dead. A shark deterrent band around her ankle. Father chokes to death in watermelon eating contest to win free portion of chips. December 31st, 2025. The holiday traditions of a nation long dead. Midterm AI madness. It sure looks like the Cackler, Governor Hairgel, Comrade AOC, and Mayor Pete are all going to run for president in 2028. Boebert suggests Trump vetoed Colorado water bill as retaliation for Epstein files. 5 states to restrict candy and soft drinks and other unhealthy foods from SNAP benefit coverage starting New Year's Day. Banks closed. HHS freezes child care payments to state after massive fraud allegations surface. Politico reporter fantasizes about Somalis killing Americans while they investigate daycare fraud. Department of Justice is reviewing more than 5.2 million documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Videos released in Epstein files raise fresh questions about jail footage. Federal prosecutors panic after video emerges of their January 6 patsy Brian Cole driving his car miles away while at the same time the actual perpetrator was planning the bombs on foot. Democrats propose changing Constitution to limit Trump's pardon power. Disney settles with DOJ for alleged child privacy violations with $10 million payment. Trump wrongly blows blame at windmills for killing American bald eagles. The Mamdani effect is already proving to be a myth. Trump 79 lusted over Ukrainian women during peace talks. Venezuela detains Americans amid growing U.S. pressure. 41 young men die in South Africa after circumcision initiation.